Hey guys, it's Mrs. Bonnier. Mrs. Knudsen and I decided to trade things up a bit so you wouldn't get sick of hearing from just one of us. So I'm here to talk a little bit more about Lesson 10 with you. You left off hearing that this chapter is going to be about how there are struggles between the King of England and the new colonists in the New World in the colonies. How the king tries to set rules or laws for the colonists to follow, and how the colonists feel like it's unfair and they don't get a say in making these laws. You heard Mrs. Knudsen talk a little bit about the French and Indian War, and you read about that yesterday. We know that the French and Indian War was not a war that was fought between the French and the American Indians. It was a war where American Indians actually fought on both sides, for the French and for the British, in which Britain came out the winners of the war. But in order to pay for this very costly war, the king has to try and find ways to make money or to pay back some of the debts that he owes. And that is one reason why we're going to find that the king starts to make new laws for the colonies. That is where we left off. We also found out that as a result of the French and Indian War, that Great Britain had a lot more land that they now needed to pay for and protect. And all of these things cost money, which leaves the king in a place of trying to figure out what to do in order to pay back some of these debts and pay some of the bills. And that brings us to Section 3 that you'll be reading today, the Proclamation of 1763. The Proclamation of 1763 is a law that that Great Britain made that required the colonists to stay within the boundary lines. It was the British telling the colonists that they could not move farther west than that line. So the line was an imaginary line, of course, but it was that they could not move anywhere west of the Appalachian Mountains. That anybody in the colonies could stay within the colonies, but they could not settle anywhere past the Appalachian Mountains. Now, the settlers in the colonies really did not agree with these laws. One, because they did not have any say in making this law, and two, because they felt like they were being told what to do by a king that's so far away, and they hadn't moved to the colonies in order to be kind of locked in one place. Now, the king had made the Proclamation of 1763 in order to help protect the colonists. He wanted to keep the colonists within the colonies where British soldiers could be stationed to help protect them from any American Indian attacks, because he feared that the American Indians would try to, wage war on them should they keep trying to move westward.